Alert day period number 4 now over the next 10 days. This one for dangerously cold air. But how about a little light snow first? I have all the details.
And a Boston high school student gets a full ride to Notre Dame. The accolades he's collecting from some prestigious institutions.
And an update is provided on Wisconsin's labor market, why officials say the unemployment rate is on the rise. That's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin with breaking news tonight as a homicide investigation is underway in Beloit.
Police saying officers were called to Colony Court near Beloit Memorial Hospital around 5:30 this afternoon. And there they found a woman who had been shot. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. No arrests have been made yet. If you have any information on this homicide, you have to contact the Beloit Police Department or submit a tip to the Greater Beloit Area Crime Stoppers.
And now to the weather forecast. Some light snow may be on the way for southern Wisconsin.
Alex, so who will get this latest round of flurries?
And we're targeting areas south and west of Madison. May be lucky if we get a dusting here in Madison, but areas towards Platteville, Dickeyville, Darlington, Monroe, you might sneak an inch. Then you go on the other side of the Mississippi River or the other side of the Iowa-Wisconsin or Wisconsin-Illinois state line. You might pick up 2 or 3 inches of snow to the much further to the southwest. We're keeping an eye on this Clipper-like system. Any small deviations, any small movements north or south can increase those totals here for southern Wisconsin, or it might just take the entire system all the way off towards the southwest. Here's a glimpse of that. Latest indications again, Grant County, far southwest Iowa County, Lafayette County over to Monroe. A little bit of light snow as we head into Thursday evening, lasting from about 6 o'clock till p.m. till about, let's say, midnight as we go towards go into Friday here. Then skies are just cloudy on Friday with a few flurries. Then our attention turns to that dangerous cold that we've been talking about all week. That's for Saturday morning and Sunday morning. When I come back, we're expecting 30 below wind chills, but I'm going to let you know just how cold those wind chills are going to be in your neighborhood because some places could be colder.
Thank you, Alex. And you can track the forecast yourself on our First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download this for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Officials say Morgan Geyser, one of the women involved in the infamous 2014 Slender Man stabbing, is no longer in the Waukesha County Jail. Officials add they are unable to provide information on where Geyser is at this time. Last month, Geyser escaped a group home on Madison's southwest side, prompting a statewide search. It ended when Geyser and her friend were found at a gas station in Illinois a day later. And a woman is hospitalized after being hit by a vehicle near Baraboo. It was a little after 8 last night. Baraboo police were called to Highway 136 just across from the Menards Supercenter there. They found a woman with severe injuries. She was taken to a hospital and is said to be in stable condition. Police say weather and road conditions appear to have contributed to the crash.
The Madison Metro Transit System is facing a multi-million-dollar deficit right now. Initial planning spending for Metro Transit in 2025 was $18.4 million. However, due to fare revenue failing to meet expectations, an increase in salaries and benefits, and operational costs, Metro is facing a $5,750,000 shortfall. We spoke to Metro Transit's GM on how the city and Metro plan to address this shortfall moving forward.
Effective just on Monday, I put in a non-essential spending freeze. So essentially, non-essential spending is, anything that isn't related to safety, security, keeping the buses in a well-maintained condition, really kind of honing in on those expenses.
A mid-year resolution increased the Metro 2025 subsidy by $1.4 million, and the year-end resolution will increase the subsidy by an initial $5.7 million, bringing the Metro Transit year-end subsidy total to $25.6 million.
The Madison Common Council passed a resolution to increase housing choices in the city. Now, 2 of those changes are allowing 3 to 4 unit buildings in residential areas with transit-oriented developmental overlay, as well as the approval to create what are called cottage courts in most residential districts.
Right now, we've got a lot of market rate and a lot of higher priced home ownership options. This is hopefully to meet some of the missing middle housing that is so desperately needed, and I think there's a reason it's called missing middle because there's not a whole lot of it.
So another proposal for cottage courts would allow single-family detached homes, duplexes, and twin homes, as long as the total number of houses does not exceed more than 8 units.
Well, you may think you may have been busy back in high school, or your kids might be doing a lot, but one local high school senior from Boston might have us all beat.
Armand Rahman shows us how this all-state wrestler is taking down opponents on the mat and also obstacles in life on his way to greatness.
Wrestling is everything, dude.
For Espen Pitts, that's true on and off the mat.
Gotta move them, gotta set up my shot, see if I can get to it. Just really keep applying the pressure.
Espen is the definition of a jack of all trades. He's everywhere at once.
Captain on the wrestling team, captain figure on the football team, financial manager for FBLA, student council member, Spanish club. With one of my friends, I actually started my own business. We started a car detailing business.
And all that hard work's paying off in a big way. The Boston senior is flipping his script to be a freshman at Notre Dame this fall, thanks to a full-ride scholarship from Questbridge.
A lot of emotions, and it was just very, very awesome and exciting.
His scholarship is valued at nearly $400,000. Espen was one of 25,000 in the country who applied to the nonprofit's college match program, and one of 2,500 high-achieving seniors from low-income backgrounds to be matched with a school.
I grew up in Milwaukee till about first grade, when I got to move up here to Boston and just basically restart. It was a hard transition.
Earlier this year, Espen was also recognized by West Point Military Academy and was awarded the Einstein Award for Excellence in Nuclear Engineering.
Bring some of Boston with me to Notre Dame.
And the National Honor Society member plans to do that in more ways than one.
He joked that you don't have a wrestling team at Notre Dame, and he says, well, I'm going to start one, and that's Espen.
So if you think you're not Notre Dame material, Espen has a message for you.
It doesn't really matter where you're from, just what you do.
You talk about Boston, you talk about the pride that you have of being from Boston and everything that you can do, and you're never just somebody from Boston.
And in the wrestling bout of life, this all-state wrestler isn't riding his time on top. His eye is on state this weekend and beyond.
So I'd say right now I'm definitely in the first period, so got to go out hard.
Reporting in Boston, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. What a story. And Espen plans to study business administration at Notre Dame with a concentration in accounting.
In other news, workers at Hilton Madison Monona Terrace are picketing for their first union contract since joining Union Hire Local 1 in August. This comes as a new report shows workers there are struggling to afford basic necessities. 1/3 of Hilton Madison workers reported that they either don't have health insurance or are on Medicaid.
I do not qualify for Medicaid, and the company's medical insurance is too expensive. If I had access to affordable, quality health insurance, it would be a big relief. Today, we call on the Hilton Madison to value us.
News 3 Now has reached out to Marcus Corporation, which owns and operates the Hilton Madison Monona Terrace, about these workers' claims, and we've yet to receive a response.
The Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development provides an update on the state's labor market. Wisconsin's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate for September was 3.1%. Now that's unchanged from August and 0.1% higher than the same time last year. The rate's still lower than the national average, which sits at 4.4%.
The underlying challenge, of course, still remains demographic as the baby boomers age out of the labor force. And we're kind of in the peak years of the largest swell of that population leaving the labor force.
The DWD's labor market data was supposed to be released in October. It was delayed due to the federal government shutdown.
The year-end holiday travel period is expected to set a new record again this year. AAA projects more than 122 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home from December 20th through New Year's Day. The rest of Americans planning a getaway will do so by air, bus, train, or take a cruise. This year's travel forecast is on track to surpass the 2024 record by nearly 3 million. And a new poll by the American Psychiatric Association finds there's growing anxiety ahead of the holidays. The survey found 44% of Americans are stressing out this time of year. The top concerns, 48% listed worries about missing someone in grief, and 46% said affording or finding the holiday gifts. The APA is offering a few ways to ease the financial pressure.
A potluck may be a wonderful time to have people over sharing in the expenses while not breaking the bank. Another thing is a holiday gift exchange. Pick a name out of a hat rather than paying for gifts for the whole family.
But it's not all just stress. 44% of Americans say this time of year does have a positive impact on their mental health, and they're looking forward to seeing friends, family, and having good food and exchanging gifts.
Well, still to come at 10, the Fed cuts its benchmark interest rate.
And President Trump takes on affordability, how he is trying to quell Americans' concerns over rising costs.
And Alex will detail the alert days, the chilly weather that's coming later in the week.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
President Donald Trump has confirmed the U.S. has taken control of an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
A person familiar with the matter said the tanker was heading to Cuba. The president did not offer any detailed explanation for the move, saying only that it was seized, quote, for very good reason, and he signaled the administration would soon release additional information. The move further risks escalating tensions with Venezuela, where President Trump has intensified a pressure campaign aimed at forcing President Nicolas Maduro out of power.
At the state capitol here in Wisconsin, a Republican-introduced bill is sparking a debate around free speech. It would require universities and colleges to pause tuition increases for 2 years if it violates free speech rules more than once. The school also cannot create a free speech zone and limit speech to that area. Opponents of the bill argue it's legislative overreach, while supporters argue it's necessary.
I feel like this is just a very punitive bill that really isn't looking at free speech for everybody. It's looking at free speech for some.
The bill will cause the universities to just be more vigilant about how they handle these situations.
The bill narrowly passed the Senate in November, but will need to make it through the Assembly before it could head to the governor's desk.
President Trump taking on the issue of affordability amid Americans' concerns about rising costs. Government data shows the inflation rate was falling at the beginning of the year, but began slowly rising again in the springtime, around the time that President Trump imposed widespread tariffs. But the president is blaming Democrats for those higher prices.
They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks.
There's also debate over Affordable Care Act subsidies expiring at the end of the year. Senate Democrats and Republicans have put forward dueling proposals that'll get a vote tomorrow.
The Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate for the third time this year. The benchmark range now sits at 3.5 to 3.75%, its lowest level in more than 3 years. The Fed citing a cooling labor market for this. Analysts say it's rare for a slowdown to happen while inflation remains high.
Maybe it's due to the uncertainty of the tariffs. Maybe it is due to just generalized anxiety about which jobs are going to be remaining after AI takes hold. We don't know.
With a lack of new economic data due to the recent government shutdown, not all voting members were in agreement. 2 wanted to maintain the previous range, and 1 wanted a bigger rate cut.
A little snow out there on the way before we hit that bitterly cold weather that's coming this weekend.
Alex, what's the latest on the alert day here?
All those alert day conditions, no changes. Saturday going into Sunday, all of southern Wisconsin, and we have wind chills as cold as -30. Now hopefully you can hear me. Wind chills as cold as -30 Saturday morning going on into Sunday morning. No changes here. We were first to mention this earlier in the week behind these clippers. Not out of the ordinary to have bitterly cold air spill in behind. -28 in Madison, -33 in Camp Douglas. That's going to be the wind chill that you wake up to Saturday morning. Fast forward to Sunday morning, -33 in Madison, -30 to 35 below wind chills as we go into Sunday morning. And if you're heading off to work and school on Monday morning, get ready. Wind chills still could be as cold as -15 to -20. Now, actual air temperatures tonight, they're cold too. Normal lows for this time of year around 20. Cut that in half. We're going to have a low around 10 here in Madison. Lower teens, maybe an upper teen across parts of southern Wisconsin. Prairie du Chien at 17 if you have some cloud cover. If you get a little bit of partly cloudy skies tonight, the radiation goes right out to space, and that's what allows those temperatures really to nosedive. Highs tomorrow only around 20. Far southwest Wisconsin, Eric said a little bit of light snow, and we're expecting a little bit of snow for parts of southern Wisconsin, especially for far southwest Wisconsin. That's the best chance of snow that we have here tomorrow night all the way through the 7-day period here until we get a little bit further out into next week, as the weather pattern is going to change at that time. But here's that little bit of light snow over parts of far southwest Wisconsin. Prairie du Chien to Platteville over to Darlington right around 6 o'clock. As we head towards this time tomorrow night, tries to sneak up towards Madison, but may not quite make it up all the way to Madison, staying over far southwest Wisconsin and parts over Iowa. Illinois have that better chance for that little bit of snow accumulation. So we're going for about a dusting here in Madison, maybe an inch in far southwest Wisconsin, maybe a little bit more, just a little bit further off towards the south and towards the west. Here's our alert days. I just dropped our high to 3 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday. Morning low Saturday, a -3, nearly -10 on Sunday morning. So the actual air temperatures are going to be bitterly cold as well. With that Green Bay Packer game, well, if you want to go to Denver, you're going to have temperatures near 60 degrees.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, let's all get going. Here we go. But here in southern Wisconsin, speaking of contrast, look at Thursday. High up near 40 degrees. You know there's going to be a runner out there with shorts on Thursday.
Sarah.
I might.
With those contrasts there. But hey, I wanted to also point out here too, let's go out to a little bit closer to Christmas. Warmer than normal temperatures for a good part of the country, but Madison, we're right on the north fringe of that. So we're probably going to be near normal. We're going to likely stay wetter than normal. So temperatures near normal are in the low to mid 30s. We got a lot of snow out there. We might add a little more to that. So the chance of that white Christmas, if you want that white Christmas, I think it's pretty good right now.
A white Christmas and hopefully not too freezing.
Yeah, hopefully we don't dip down into this dangerously cold stuff too many more times here before Christmas.
Exactly. Thank you.
We got a ways to go though, yet this winter.
Thank you, Alex. Well, the Packers are preparing to face one of the best defenses in the league, the Broncos.
Yeah, Jim Leonard and company. But head coach Matt LaFleur has all the confidence in his star quarterback. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has the story.
The Green Bay Packers turning their attention from their big win over their arch rivals, the Chicago Bears, here Sunday at Lambeau Field, to facing the best team in the AFC and one of the NFL's best defenses, the Denver Broncos. Good thing for Matt LaFleur and the Packers, they have one of the best quarterbacks going right now in Jordan Love. And while Love gives credit to the guys around him, Matt LaFleur knows better. His quarterback is playing at a very high level.
He's playing really good football right now, and that's obviously important, and it's going to be important moving forward because, like I mentioned, we got a hell of a test. I mean, this defense is they're for real. So, one of the top defenses in the league.
I mean, it's just everybody. I think these are the most important games of the season, you know, with obviously a lot of things come down to it with playoff seeding and the division race. So this is the important football. And I think it's everybody. We keep stacking and keep getting better and better, I feel like, throughout the season and learn from, you know, the mistakes we make and overcome some of the obstacles. But just keep stacking and trying to find ways to get better every day, I think is, you know, what's something that's been helping us.
We'll have full coverage leading into the Packers-Broncos game on Sunday at 3:25, which you can watch right here on Channel 3 on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. And you can watch the Packers take on those Denver Broncos right here on WISE TV. Game kicks off at 3:25 on Sunday afternoon. Going to be a nice warm day there in Denver. Andrew's here with sports.
Yeah, absolutely. A really exciting game tonight for Wisconsin men's basketball. They were out in Lincoln trying to get a big one. We'll have the highlights next on News 3 Now. You can think about the college basketball season like a game of limbo. When the bar has been high against lesser opponents, Wisconsin men's basketball has cleared it with ease. But when the bar has been low, it's turned into how low can you go? But this game of limbo, that is the Badger season, is just getting started. Another low bar tonight against a tough team, undefeated Nebraska. And the Badgers started out lights out. John Blackwell, money from deep, make it a 7-2 Bucky lead 90 seconds in. But a few minutes later, that bar it started going a little lower. Bucky just barely clears. Andrew Rohde rattles home the three, but it would be the last Wisconsin lead. Later on, the bar was just too low for Wisconsin to get their nose under. Wisconsin wouldn't come close to clearing it, and they lose another big test by a massive margin, 60-90, the final score. When COVID first came around, Austin Rapp described himself as a chubby 6'2" basketball player. He came out of the 2-year lockdown as an Australian 6'8" Division I prospect. Now, he was Australian before, but still he grew a whole lot. A reality that this week's Wisconsin Huddle guest could have never imagined, especially at a school that he grew up watching, making his journey complete from Melbourne to Madison.
Growing up as a kid, I always kind of looked up to Fred Kaminsky and those guys. I actually remember watching their Final Four run and when they beat Kentucky, and I was watching it in the playing room with my dad, and kind of, like always, checking in and watching. So it was cool to finally, kind of when I was getting recruited by them out the transfer portal, it was kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call, like, wow, like the Badgers, I used to watch these guys growing up. So to be here now and kind of be able to play games at the Kohl Center and kind of be in that environment is really cool.
As always, tune in at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now on Friday night to watch Aussie and I on the Wisconsin Huddle. Fresh off beating their first ranked team in 2 years, Wisconsin women's basketball hosted San Diego this morning and were firing in the first. Destiny Howell houses the triple. She finished with a team best 14. And later on, how about this? Badgers up 11, and that lead just kept growing. Kira Daniels got it. They'd lead by 14 after a quarter, and San Diego just could not handle the Badgers' blizzard of buckets. Bucky wins it 74-46. To the football field, where Tretch Kekahuna entered the transfer portal. The speedy Wisconsin wide receiver also entered the portal last year, but returned to Madison for his sophomore season, in which he had 340 total yards and a touchdown in 2025. But I can guarantee you Alex is not entering the transfer portal. In fact, I'll prove it to you. You'll see him in just a few minutes with the final check of the First Warn forecast.
They got it.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
We're just gabbing here.
just having a
Sorry.
conversation.
Chatting about the weather.
Yes.
A lot to talk about.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be bitterly cold, not just starting tonight. I mean, very cold, I should say, tonight. But by the time we get to tomorrow night, going into Friday night, that bitter air is really going to invade southern Wisconsin. We have alert day conditions Saturday going on into Sunday with 30 below wind chills expected here in Wisconsin. Contrast to 60-degree temperatures in Denver. We'll take that. But we do warm up next week. That's the plus.
All right. Yeah, I'm not quite ready for 2 degrees, but once you get that snow on the ground, that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Colbert is next.
Have a good night, everyone.